Hey friends, this is Audie Cornish, host of CNN This Morning and The Assignment, and guess what? Every story you care about, every angle you want unpacked is now streaming on CNN. That means you can catch my show or other CNN programming whenever you want on your favorite device. And a subscription also gets you access to exclusive video series and unlimited articles. So subscribe to CNN at cnn.com/subscription.
10 years from today, Lisa Schneider will trade in her office job to become the leader of a pack of dogs. As the owner of her own dog rescue, that is. A second act made possible by the reskilling courses Lisa's taking now with AARP to help make sure her income lives as long as she does. And she can finally run with the big dogs. And the small dogs, who just think they're big dogs. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Learn more at aarp.org/skills.
Chronic spontaneous urticaria, or chronic hives with no known cause. It's so unpredictable. It's like playing pinball. Itchy, red bumps start on my arm, then my back. Sometimes my legs. Hives come out of nowhere. And it comes and goes. But I just found out about a treatment option at treatmyhives.com. Take that, chronic hives. Learn more at treatmyhives.com.
BTW, FYI. Visit Nexplanon.com RN to learn about Nexplanon. It's an adjustral implant, 68 milligrams radiopaque. Or ask your HCP IRL. Okay, TTYL.
A blogging, tweeting, baseball man. Just sit back and listen, you'll become a fan. I'm a C70 junkie, a C70. I'm a C70 junkie, a C70. I'm a C70 junkie, a C70. Oh. And now your host, Daniel Shoptaw.
Good evening. Welcome into a second episode of Conversations with C70. We're talking this week with Lux Farina. He does the podcast Royal Deluxe at also on the Fan First Sports Network, where we have this show. Lux, how you doing tonight?
I am good. I just told you I am really tired, so I apologize if you hear me yawn. It's not because of you. It's just because I don't get enough sleep. I'm nocturnal, so that doesn't help either. I'm just a really weird person in general.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much the standard if you're going to be doing podcasting and writing and following baseball. We are
keeping up with baseball, this crazy sport.
Yeah, and I'm sure maybe you haven't recovered from 18 innings from a couple of nights ago. I don't know. I didn't even. I'll admit I didn't even start. So
that actually wasn't a big deal for me because I work nights, so I actually got to watch the game at work for the most part. I watched the last 3 innings on the TV we had at my job, and it was great. It was a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that is true. But instead of it being everything wrapped up before you start, you got a little bit of chance there. It was a crazy year. What are your thoughts before we get into your background and stuff? What are your thoughts on this World Series?
This is a really fun World Series, I think. I haven't seen every game. I didn't watch yesterday's game, which is unfortunate because I like watching Trey Savage pitch. I've really become a fan of this guy. I've kind of become a fan of the Blue Jays in general. Like, I didn't think anything of them. I had no investment in either team, honestly, but I've been watching the Sportsnet broadcast, and they do a good job on broadcasting the Blue Jays in Canada. Really good production quality, but in general, these games have been really fun. I think just a very engaging World Series. I'm becoming a fan of Vlad Jr. now. Like, he's really established himself as a superstar.
Yeah, I think I assume for a lot of people, they went into this kind of wanting to like the Blue Jays, right? I mean, it's, not anybody but the Dodgers, but they've done a good job of of laying claim to those kind of people and turning them into, like I said, not you're not gonna you're not necessarily gonna run out and buy Blue Jays outfits and things of that nature, but
Right.
it's still a team that you have a rooting interest for now.
Yeah, everybody likes an underdog, and this has been a really good underdog story this year, the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah. And I guess if you want to talk about underdogs in the World Series, that might be our segue into the Royals, because if when they've been there,
Hmm.
they've often been the underdogs as well. How did you, before we get into their World Series history, because it's not necessarily something as a Cardinal fan I want to talk about, um,
Sorry.
how how did you come to become a Royals fan?
It was actually that World Series, well, not that World Series under the Cardinals, but the 2015
Mm.
World Series. So like I said, I'm nocturnal and I work nights, and this started in 2014 specifically. And I I was a baseball fan when I was a kid. Believe it or not, hilariously, I was actually a Mets fan because my parents are from New York. Dad's side is Yankees fans, mom's side is Mets
Mm.
fans, and I guess also with that underdog mentality, like I didn't want to, root for the Yankees like everybody else. I'm gonna root
Mm.
for the little guy. I'm gonna root for the Mets. So 2006, thank you. That wasn't fun. That NLCS, that was heartbreaking. And then 2007 happened, and that was even worse. And then 2008 happened, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not watching these guys anymore. I'm not watching this team. Not watching this sport. I just kind of stopped with baseball altogether. So 2014, the Royals finally get good because, like, obviously, I didn't have any reason to care about the Royals
Right.
at any point in my life. Um, so but they get into playoffs, and all of a sudden my family's like really invested in this. Like they really care. They're like screaming downstairs, cheering so loud for all the crazy things that are going on. And I just I'm like a no fun kind of guy where I'm just
Mhm.
like, I'm trying to sleep. I have a job. Like, what is wrong with you guys? Come on. And they just like, Michael, no one cares. No one cares about your stupid job. The Royals are in the playoffs. This never ever happens. So that happened, and I didn't think too much of it. Then 2015 happened, and they were in the playoffs again, and the screaming started again, the loudness started again. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to be able to fight this. I'm not going to be able to, get around this. I
Mhm.
might as well join this. I might as well watch this along with them. So I started watching the championship series and then the World Series, and yeah, that really just made me appreciate the team, and just I don't know, it reignited an old love, I guess, because
Mhm.
I just do generally like baseball. It was also, and this is going to make me a bit of a dork, I guess, but it was the Reddit game threads that I was keeping up with because
Mm.
I'm a terminally online guy. That's just
Yeah.
what I do. I like talking with people online, so it was kind of fun having like a chat,
Yeah.
constantly going talking about these games, and that helped me keep it engaged. And nowadays, I run the Royal subreddit and also and part of the baseball subreddit. So this has been this social media platform has really helped me stay engaged with the game, so and the team. So even if I kind of jumped on the bandwagon in 2015, I stayed on it. I just
Mhm.
kept watching the team, and it's just led to all these different experiences and connections that I've had.
Yeah, which is pretty. I mean, most people would not have, right? I mean, if
Sure.
he got on it at a World Series, maybe the next year, maybe the year after, but the downs that the Royals have had since then would
Yeah.
have scared a lot of people off. And so it's a testament to staying involved. And like you said, I'm also often, either on Twitter or other places talking with people, and I get
Mhm.
that connection helps a lot in becoming more involved with what you're watching.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's just nice having this community around.
Yeah. How is it difficult, do you find, to be in a position, maybe a little bit overstated, but position of authority if you are running those Reddits, and trying to maybe, have people pump the brakes a little bit, or in when things are not going well?
Yeah, this season was especially difficult because the Royals never really, they were a team that never really found their footing. They were, there were ups, there were highs, there were high points in this season, and overall it was a winning season. It wasn't a
Mhm.
terrible season, but it was a disappointing season, and that disappointment was felt within the fan base and exercised or expressed
Yeah.
pretty regularly. So I'm really not someone who actually likes authority. I don't like telling people what to do.
Mhm.
If anything, I just want to be an influence. And sorry if that sounds pretentious, but I want to help people like enjoy things more. Like I want people to have a healthier, more positive experience with what they're
Yeah.
doing because I think that this should be fun. I always say
Mhm.
if you're not having fun, like you really shouldn't be doing this. Like if you're watching this team and it makes you mad that they're losing, then that's unhealthy. Like you should step away and do something that brings you joy in life because just watching something and getting mad at it every day and while having no power over it because that's the
Right.
other thing. Like
Yeah.
I know my place. I'm just a guy. I'm just a random fan. This doesn't, I can't really change all that much if things don't go my way. um so yeah, it does get difficult because you try telling someone what to do or just try calming them down from being angry,
Mhm.
and then they think that like, oh, you're trying to control me, or oh, you like doing this, you're power tripping and all that. And it's like that's really not what I'm
Yeah.
trying to do. I'm just trying to, I just want everybody to be chill. And like I said, it's all about the community and the environment, and I just want that to be a nice, like I want it to be a fun hangout space. I don't want people
Yeah.
to be mad.
Yeah. And I mean, discussions are going to happen, and there you're obviously, you know, as long both sides can get going on what happened or what should have happened or anything like that,
Right.
but just that respect that has to go along with that of and you're right, not getting so worked up about it that it's completely ruins your day,
Hmm.
if they don't get a base hit in the the sixth inning that drives in a run. So
Right.
um so again, you come at this, you're online, sure,
Hmm.
but then you take the step into podcasting. Why? Besides the whole, being a dork kind of thing,
uh
um,
well,
got you
actually,
there.
it has everything to be to with it has everything to do with being a dork because another my other hobby, I guess, and this was going on before baseball, is I'm a
Mm,
big anime guy. And
okay.
so I had a friend that was he kind of wanted to start doing content, I guess. So
Mm,
he had me on to do podcasts, and that's just something I, enjoyed listening to. Like I enjoyed hearing other people talk about things, and I had my own opinions on things. So it's just something I wanted to do as well, particularly with that space. So I've been on this podcast called the what's it called, the Tokyo Podfathers podcast,
mm.
all the way since 2017.
Oh, goodness.
um, and the Royal Deluxe podcast that I have is just something that I wanted to do for a long time and was kind of afraid of doing up until 2022, where I just said like, I need to do this. Like if I don't do this
Mhm.
now, I'm never going to be able to do this. Every year I kept saying I want to do a baseball podcast, but then I try starting and I'm like, it's not good. I don't know what I'm doing, what I'm talking about. And I just threw myself at it one day.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and it was it was it was just because I wanted to have my own platform to express the things that I felt, because I didn't felt entirely represented by anybody else. But I also
Mhm.
wanted to do it as like my way of breaking into the community further, because I basically only had that Reddit connection with people. That's all I really did. I didn't really know anybody else outside of
Mhm.
that. So I wanted to be like, hey, here's what I do. I've got this podcast. Here are my thoughts on things.
Yeah. That's a good thing. I mean, and it's, again, I've come from sadly, the earliest generation where we were blogging a lot, because of the
Hmm.
same type of thing. You wanted that was the only place you could write, long form stuff. I mean, Twitter existed, but you couldn't get into details and stuff there. And
Right.
then as podcasting has come along, that's kind of taken the place of that. But you're right. It's a chance to lay out in a lot more than just a soundbite. And I think that's the important
Hmm.
thing, because you can shoot a hot take or whatever out on whatever. But if you want to really give you reasoning for it. You need that, need that space to be able to lay it out. And, when people agree or disagree, that's fine, but at least you got it out of your system.
Right, exactly.
You do a solo show too, don't you?
Yeah, I'll also admit, it's actually something I'm not going to be doing moving forward, because after 4 years of doing it by myself, it's basically lost its purpose, or no, it's
Yeah.
fulfilled its purpose. Like it's something I don't really need anymore, and it's, I guess, kind of bored me. I'm just talking to myself all the time, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to be doing stuff with other people, or at the very least, if I'm going to be doing stuff myself, then there are probably better ways of doing this. So I'm not going to like stop podcasting altogether. I'm not going to stop talking about the Royals. It's just like the specific format that I'm doing it in is just not something that's fulfilling to me anymore. So it's something I'll be changing at some point.
I'll say I have done a handful over my years of podcasting of solo shows, and they are very, very difficult. I cannot imagine doing, and I mean, I know some of yours ran over an hour. I can't imagine doing that all by myself. I mean, there's just no way. I would, I would like, nobody wants to listen to this, but obviously they do. I mean, you're obviously doing a fine job with it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I just ramble a lot. I'm just a big yapper. I don't have very organized thoughts a lot of the time, and it takes me a long time to get to the points that I want to make. I don't explain myself or articulate myself too well, so that's something that really inflates the runtime a lot. Like it is a fun experience. I don't want to, like what I said earlier. It doesn't mean that I'm like suffering doing this. Like,
right. Oh, you wouldn't do it otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, for what it's worth, I haven't done a new episode since the season ended. I do take breaks pretty often, but yeah, it's something that I'm happy with. Like, it's something that I'm glad I did this. It was a nice little life advancement for me.
Yeah,
just getting that project off the ground and sticking with it.
CRM was supposed to improve customer relationships. Instead, it's shorthand for Customer Rage Machine. Your CRM can't explain why a customer's package took 5 detours? Reboot your inner peace and scream into a pillow. It's okay. On the ServiceNow AI platform, CRM stands for something better. AI agents don't just track issues, they resolve them, transforming the entire customer experience. So breathe in and breathe out. Bad CRM was then. This is ServiceNow.
You said the Royals were disappointing this year. What was the most disappointing thing about it? I mean, why did they not reach the expectations people had for them?
Yeah, what killed the 2025 Royals? It was really our hitting at the end of the day. Like, our pitching was pretty injured. It was pretty banged up compared to last season, because our pitching was absolutely fantastic throughout 2024, and we were a testament to arm health. We had a lot of healthy pitchers. We had 4 guys pitch. We had 4 qualified pitchers in our rotation. The main thing was our bullpen wasn't great, but we fixed that. So 2025, we were hoping to. I mean, like, we knew we weren't going to get that kind of health again, but it was like our best guys that were getting hurt. Cole Reagans was out for like half the season, and even when he did pitch, he had some weird starts. Like, his FIP was like 3 runs below his actual ERA.
Oh,
It was wild. Like, he was on pace to be the strikeout king of this season. I'm pretty sure he has the highest strikeout rate of any starter. Chris Bubich was a fantastic revelation that we were looking forward to this season, but he ended up not being able to finish the season. Seth Lugo was really up and down. And despite that, we were still a great pitching team because there's just so much going on internally. We had a lot of internal improvements. We had Noah Cameron come up, who should be a Rookie of the Year candidate. So there was a lot to appreciate there, despite the setbacks that we had. It was really our hitting that was a letdown. And it's hard to really say what went wrong with our hitting because, like, in some ways it was just obviously maybe some regression. Bobby Witt Jr. didn't hit like an MVP like he did in 2024. And a lot of guys on the team just weren't where we were hoping they would be. Like, you could say the guys at the top, Bobby, Vinny Pasquantino, Salvador Perez, they were fine for the most part. They essentially did their jobs. It was basically everyone else on the roster where we just need like a couple of guys to be league average bats. Michael Massey, Kyle Isbell, MJ Melendez. Like we have some big expectations of these guys. I shouldn't mention Isbell because he's fine for a defensive center fielder. Jonathan India was like our big offseason acquisition, and the Royals tried to make him a player that he's not, a multi-positional utility guy, and it went horribly wrong. And at the plate, he wasn't. He's someone who never really found his footing. It was just really weird. It was just inconsistent overall, and just we didn't get a lot of internal improvements from guys that we were hoping for. And it also didn't help that there wasn't much done in the offseason to fix the lineup or improve the lineup, because it was already shaky going into 2025. And so, it kind of confirmed a lot of suspicions, which is a big reason why this season was as disappointing as it was for a lot of people. It was the common meme is that our outfield in 2024 had the lowest offensive production, or at least some of the lowest offensive production, and we did not get a new outfielder in the offseason. So once again, some of the lowest production from the outfield this entire season.
Which I guess opens up the question that I guess every fan base focuses on at some point in time. I know the ownership has changed recently in Kansas City, over the last, half a decade or whatever.
Yeah, 2019.
How are what are people's opinions of that new ownership? Are they still on board with it, or are there grumblings?
So there are grumblings, but not necessarily for the on-field product. So John Sherman, our new owner, he wants to build a new stadium. He's been kind of insistent on getting the Royals a new stadium. He's been talking about how like Kauffman is an unsustainable venue in the future, and it's something people haven't really gotten on board with. And the way he's tried to go about building a new stadium, it's just been a lot of very unclear plans. Like case in point, he wants to build a new stadium. We still have no idea where this new stadium is supposed to be. We had a public vote on whether or not this should happen at the start of 2024, and still to this day, at the end of 2025, we still have no idea where he actually wants to put this new stadium, how much money is actually going to be needed to make it, and all kinds of questions about that. So that's been a big fiasco within this community. But when it comes to making the Royals a good team and putting a quality product on the field, it's been pretty good. Now, of course, you could say he could still be doing more. The Royals only run like $130 million payroll, so you can expect more at some point. And he says that, like, yeah, we'll spend more when the time is right on the right guy, basically doing that thing. But at the very least, when he talks about the team, like I really do genuinely think he cares, because, we had a big reason for why the Royals were so bad after the World Series is because we had a front office that was just kind of run by hubris. Our general manager, Dayton Moore, was just someone who was like, I know what I'm doing because I won a World Series. I did this. I rebuilt this team. So, like, just leave it to me, guys. Don't stop criticizing me. Don't stop saying the team isn't good. We know exactly what we're doing. So David Glass, our past owner, wouldn't have done anything because he was super old. He was just happy that the team, was successful at some point. He was just going to let that guy do whatever he wants. Sherman came in, and in 3 years was like, this isn't working. This needs to stop. He's actually making changes that our past ownership didn't do. And that has brought in some, a much more progressive front office, much, better personnel overall. So, yeah. Like, I think Sherman genuinely cares, and he has been putting some money into the team because we had the big free agent shopping spree in 2024. It hasn't, turned out that our payroll is like super high and that we're getting every single player that we need. Case in point, last offseason, we didn't get the guys that we needed. But, like, it's all right. I'm not going to, go to bat and say like, yeah, we've got like the best owner ever. This guy's awesome. But I'm like, you know what? We could also be doing a lot worse in this sport.
I mean, especially in your market, it's a dangerous thing, right? I mean, I feel like when we hear, I mean, there's bad owners everywhere.
Yes.
But it feels like it gets concentrated in the smaller markets, maybe because they feel like they have that excuse of not being able, not having the market size to do things. At least they can use that card, whether it's accurate or not. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. I mean, to have somebody that's wanting to be involved and wanting to make the team better, I really think that's about all you can ask for out of an ownership.
Yeah, and he's not, someone who's, getting too involved. Like he trusts the guys that he has in place to do the jobs that they are supposed to do. And I think that's how things have gone in general. So yeah, he's basically just a mouthpiece for the organization, and I think that's good enough.
Right. So you've got Bobby Witt locked up for a long time. What's
Yes.
it been like to watch his career, coming up and really kind of, coming in almost fully formed and being the superstar?
It's been amazing. Like, it really has been amazing. Like, I don't think I ever would have imagined that the Kansas City Royals would have truly and honestly one of the best players in the sport. Like you could make an argument that outside of Otani, he's the best player in the entire game. And that's just really fun, really exciting. Like, this season I did, some preseason predictions, and I'm like, I'm going to predict Bobby Witt Jr. being MVP, because never in my life has a Kansas City Royal have been the odds favorite to win MVP. That just does not happen.
Right.
So, and it really is a treat to watch him basically every day. This guy seriously does things that are just absolutely unreal to witness. So yeah, I'm just really happy about it. I just love this guy.
That it's a lot of fun, and it's really nice to see a guy like that get that long-term contract, and you don't have to worry. I mean, sure, people are going to make up rumors or whatever, but I feel like
Yeah.
you're not going to have to worry at all about him going anywhere for any time soon.
Yeah. Kind of a back to ownership. This is something that I also don't think I ever would have imagined. He got a $288 million contract. 2016 we re-signed Alex Gordon for $72 million. That was the highest contract the Royals had ever given out by that point. And even in 2021, we gave Salvi his third extension for $82 million. That was the record. The Royals had not signed $100 million contract until they gave Bobby almost $300 million. So yeah, I mean, of course, like you said, there are going to be rumors and all, because the way the contract is, it's technically a 7-year deal for about $150 million, and he's got a bunch of opt-outs in the middle of that. So of course, the rumor is that, like, oh, Bobby's not going to want to stay here. He's not going to want to play for a losing team. He's going to go somewhere else and get what he's actually worth. We can't afford him, et cetera, et cetera. But it's like, all right, well, we already had this conversation in like 2023, and then he signed that contract anyway. So yeah, I trust that Bobby Witt Jr. is going to be a Royal for ever, and I have accepted that. I am fine with Bobby Witt Jr. being my shortstop for the rest of my life.
And again, it's just a good thing for baseball to have those kind of quality players in markets that aren't, Los Angeles or New York or Chicago or things like that. To have a place that maybe you wouldn't expect it, but to have that kind of gem in the firmament like that is a really cool thing.
Yeah, I think every team should have their guy. They should have at least one guy that they can say, like, yeah, that's our guy, and that's one of the best players in the entire sport. That's just a legend right there.
Now you've also got Salvador Perez, who has been a Royal his entire career. The Cardinals kind of had this with Yadier Molina a couple of years ago, where as his career got a little bit farther along, it was a little bit, I wouldn't say troublesome, but it was a little bit like, he wouldn't be out there if it wasn't Yadier Molina. Is it getting to that place for Salvador Perez, and how are people adjusting to him as he gets closer to the end of his career?
It's interesting because there's a lot of assumption that Salvi is going to retire within like 2 years, and I've just never gotten that impression. Salvi's a guy who says that he wants to play until he can't. Like, he wants to be like Ichiro in that regard. Right. He's still a fine player. He's still a good hitter in general. The catching defense has always been a question mark, but we know he's a good playmaker. Like, he's got a lot of on-field intelligence, so that obviously helps. And at this point, it might be time to fully replace him, not just because he's getting older, but because we have a guy actually from the Kansas City area named Carter Jensen, who has come up and been a really, really great catcher and a really great hitter. So we think that's going to be our regular catcher moving forward. But yeah, Salvi, like he's still there. He's actually aged pretty decently. Like he's one of those rare players who has gotten better in his 30s. So I don't know. I really don't know when the end of his career is going to be. He has a team option for 2025, which I assume the Royals are going to parlay into like another 3-year extension or something like that. So I think that we're still going to see Salvi for a little while, and I think it's going to be fine. He might not. He's probably not going to have another 48 home run season ever again. But at least he did have that, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the moments are there, if nothing else. So
yeah, absolutely.
So going into the winter, then what are the Royals going to do? What should the Royals do?
It's tough to say what the Royals are going to do, but I am confident that they are going to be a lot more active in free agency, almost like they were going into 2024. Because what I've noticed with this front office and this new ownership regime, basically that we've had since like you could say 2023, technically, is that they really don't make the same mistakes twice. Like they'll have one philosophy 1 year, and if it works, then fine. But if it doesn't work, they don't do that again. Like after 2024, they thought, hey, we have a good team because we made the playoffs. So clearly we don't need to improve too much. We don't need to go crazy in free agency. And that didn't work out too well. And kind of like going into 2023, there wasn't a lot of free agents acquisitions then because we had a lot of young players on the roster, and we were just in a really bad spot at that point. So it was kind of tough to say what the team needed in general. So it's like, all right, let's just wait and see how this happens. And then that team lost 106 games. So then they're like, okay, we need to get a lot of free agents. We need to improve the team now, really by a lot. So basically, I think going into this offseason, they know for sure they don't have the internal solutions that they thought they had or that they were hoping that they would have. So I think that they are going to be a lot more proactive in actually finding those new solutions. I don't entirely know what they're going to do with free agency, but I do believe that they will be able to make a very, very big trade because we just have so much great pitching in this organization, and especially at the major league level, that I think they can use that to acquire a really, really good player. Like I mentioned Chris Bubich earlier, who was an all-star this season, and he had a sub-2 ERA for like the first 2 months of his season before he started to deal with like shoulder fatigue or something. This is just a really, really, truly great pitcher that we have, and we don't need him because we have like 7 starting pitchers as it is right now before you even get to him. And he's going to be a free agent after 2026. So basically this is like a luxury commodity that the Royals have that they really do not need for 2026. And I think that can be turned into, maybe that outfielder that they've been looking for that they really need.
Anytime you've got pitching to trade, you should be able to find somebody that's interested in taking it off your hands. So, and I mean, I don't know, trades it seem to be a little bit more exciting for a winner anyway. I mean, free agent signings are nice, but getting a good trade in there is plenty of fodder for discussion.
Absolutely, yeah. Funny enough, that guy who pitched the last 4 innings of the Dodgers, 18 inning game, Will Klein, that was a Royals guy. That was a Royals prospect that we traded in 2024 for Lucas Erceg, who's now our best reliever. So that's a fun little story for us. We were kind of celebrating that win, like because good for him.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what you want to see. I think a lot of times is get value, but also the player that goes out does well also. So maybe not too well, depending on, but somewhat. Before we wrap, though, we didn't talk about it a minute ago. You, as I and as Joshua last week, are on the MLB fan council.
Yeah.
When they reached out to you, what was your first reaction when you got that?
my first reaction was, what is this? Is this a real thing? I was actually asking around, other baseball people. I'm like, have you guys heard of this? Have you heard of this fan council thing? Like, I gave MLB my email. I gave them my contact info. I'm just like, yeah, sure. If they're like I knew it was them. I knew it wasn't like a fake thing. But I'm just like, how is this happening? I don't know. And I didn't get a single answer back. Nobody could tell me anything about this. So I was just completely blind and oblivious to this, and I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants with this thing, I guess, with everybody else.
I mean, they have that fan survey thing that they send out, all the time, and I thought it was just more of the same. I was like, I'm already doing this thing, and just these various surveys and stuff. But sure, whatever, and it turned out to be a little bit more. What have you gotten out of this experience so far?
I will say not too much, but it is still something that I'm glad to be a part of. It's just like nice getting some insider information, like some auxiliary information about the sport, and just like really, obscure things that I didn't know a lot about previously. I am hoping that we'll get more stuff to do. I literally told them in one of my emails, I'm like, we want stuff to do. Like, give us homework this off season, because we really do kind of see this as like an opportunity to, I'm not even really sure for what, but just like it's clearly something. Like, they want us for something, and I am just willing to take that on.
Yeah, I mean, like the survey that they sent out, a couple months ago now, I guess, seemed to be a step in that direction of getting some more feedback, getting some more ideas, and I think they're kind of figuring it out as they go as well. I mean, something that's kind of brand new, and so what will it look like 3 or 4 years down the road? I guess hopefully we'll see. Hopefully it's still around 3 or 4 years down the road. So
right.
Anyway, well, it's been an enjoyable conversation tonight, and thanks for joining me. Good luck to the Royals this year, and maybe we can get together when the two teams match up sometime in 2026.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pleasure. Yep. Thanks a lot for having me on. And listen to me yap and be poorly articulate as usual.
Hey, people are used to that. I mean, I have done a lot of podcasting, and so they're kind of used to rambling and inarticulate. So you fit right in. So, awesome. All right. Well, we'll wrap this one up. We'll probably do another one here sometime soon, and Meet Me Mutual will be back on the air next week after the series is done. So until then, I'm Daniel. Good night.
Alisea, the second for one, the double play. What a double play by Ozzie Smith. Oh, mercy.